By the end of this month, the spiritual veil thins, and if you continue to pray to your guardian angel this way, you are not just being ignored. You are unintentionally opening a door that should have remained sealed. You believe you are speaking to a friend, a protector, a holy companion assigned to you by God Himself. You recite the words, perhaps the very same ones your mother taught you, with sincerity in your heart and hope for protection, guidance, or comfort. But what you don't know, what centuries of mystical tradition have tried to warn us about, is that sincerity alone is not a shield. Your good intentions can be a key in the wrong lock. The greatest threat is not a distant, monstrous evil, but a subtle, almost imperceptible corruption of the purest things. You are making a mistake, a series of them, woven into the very fabric of your devotion. It is an error so common, so seemingly harmless, that it has become the default way for millions to approach their celestial guardians. And this error does not merely cause your prayers to fall on deaf ears, it creates a spiritual vacuum. And you know, deep in the marrow of your soul, what nature, and what the enemy of your soul, abhors most: a vacuum. It will be filled. The promise I make to you today is not one of fear, but of restoration. By the end of our time together, you will not only identify these 5 critical mistakes, but you will be given the precise ancient tools to correct them, to seal that door forever, and to transform your prayer from a hopeful whisper into a powerful, resonant communion that shakes the very foundations of heaven in your favor. If you feel a stirring in your spirit right now, a sense that this message is for you, type "I am listening" in the comments below. As a sign of your commitment to this journey of discovery, imagine a single candle in a vast, cold stone room. That candle is your prayer. You light it faithfully every night. But what if I told you the wax is tainted? What if the wick is damp? What if the very air in the room is slowly being replaced by a gas that cannot sustain a flame? You would not see the change at first. The flame would simply grow weaker, sputtering, its light becoming dim and smoky, casting distorted shadows on the walls that look like things they are not. This is what is happening to your connection. You are focused on the act of lighting the candle, but you are unaware of the poisoned materials you are using. The mistake is not in the desire to pray, but in the method of its execution. It is a misalignment, a spiritual dissonance that creates static on a sacred line. The enemy is not interested in extinguishing your candle with a great gust of wind. That would be too obvious. He is far more cunning. He wants to convince you to slowly poison your own flame, to believe that a weak, sputtering light is all you are meant to have, until you forget what the brilliant, unwavering fire of true communion even looks like. We are here to replace the wax, to dry the wick, to purify the very air you breathe in your spiritual life. We are here to turn your sputtering candle into a beacon. The truth has been preserved, not in popular pamphlets or modern feel-good spirituality, but in the fiery, ecstatic visions of one of the Church's most formidable intellects and mystics, a woman who saw the machinery of the cosmos and the subtle poisons of the soul with terrifying clarity. Her name was Hildegard of Bingen, and she saw it all. She saw the twisted prayers. She saw the smudged mirrors. She saw the open doors. She saw the faithful inadvertently inviting shadows while seeking light. She documented the precise mechanics of this spiritual sabotage. She did not write in gentle suggestions. She wrote in warnings of fire and light, of symphonies and cacophony. She understood that a prayer to your guardian angel is not a casual conversation. It is a tuning of your soul to a celestial frequency. And if you are off by even a single degree, you don't just miss the music, you amplify the noise. The world is full of noise right now, isn't it? The constant chatter of fear, anxiety, and division. You have been told this is normal. It is not. It is the result of millions of beautiful souls praying with a flawed technique, their spiritual candles sputtering in unison, creating a haze of spiritual smoke that chokes the light. But the smoke is about to clear. The truth is about to be revealed. We will begin this journey not with a gentle first step, but by understanding the vessel of this revelation, the woman who walked in 2 worlds, but what Saint Hildegard taught. 5 mistakes in the prayer to the guardian angel. Do not ignore saw that night. Mudaria Tudu. In the year of our Lord 1141, a profound sickness fell upon a 42-year-old Benedictine nun named Hildegard, confining her to her cot within the stark, windswept walls of the Disibodenberg monastery in the German Rhineland. For weeks she lay paralyzed, her body failing, yet her mind burned with a fire she could no longer contain. This was not a sickness of the body, but a crisis of obedience. For years, God had been showing her visions, a torrent of luminous, cosmic understanding she called the shade of the living light. And for years, out of fear and a sense of her own unworthiness, a feeling you might know all too well, she had refused the divine command to write them down. Her paralysis was the physical manifestation of her spiritual resistance. It was only when her prior, a man named Volmar, finally convinced her to obey the voice in her visions that her strength began to return. Pen was put to parchment, and over the next decade, the work that would become the Civias, or Know the Ways of the Lord, began to pour out of her. This is our source. This is not a collection of pious legends or secondhand stories. It is a direct, first-person account of divine revelation, a theological masterpiece so profound that Pope Eugene III himself would later read from it at the Synod of Trier, giving it his full apostolic blessing. You must understand, this is our anchor. We are not dealing with superstition or folk magic. We are engaging with a doctor of the Church, a woman whose intellect was as sharp as her spiritual sight was clear. She was a composer, a naturalist, a healer, and a theologian whose authority was recognized by popes and emperors. When she spoke of the angelic realm, she did not speak in metaphors. She spoke as a witness. Her writings on the guardian angels were not a separate treatise, but were woven throughout the grand tapestry of the Civias. She saw them not as chubby infants with feathered wings, but as terrifyingly beautiful beings of pure light and sound, living flames, and sparks of the divine essence, whose very existence was a continuous song of praise to God. Their purpose, she wrote, was not merely to protect you from falling stones or tripping on the stairs, but to be a constant living bridge between your soul and the mind of God. They were, in her words, the secretaries of the Most High, tasked with recording your deeds and presenting your prayers, properly formed, before the throne of grace. But she issued a stark warning. The bridge could be weakened, the song could be distorted, the connection could be corrupted, and the corruption began not with some great and obvious evil, but in the small, intimate space of personal prayer. And this is where the micro-revulsion, the contradictory twist, entered her own story. As her writings began to circulate, dictated to her loyal monk Volmar, a quiet resistance grew, not from heretics or pagans, but from within the monastery walls themselves. Other monks, steeped in the rigid, purely academic theology of the time, whispered that her visions were the result of female hysteria, or, worse, demonic influence. They saw her disciplined, visionary spirituality as a threat to their controlled, book-based faith. They could not comprehend a God who would reveal such profound cosmic secrets to a woman, an abbess with no formal university training. They demanded proof. They demanded logic. They demanded a God who fit within their neatly organized books. But Hildegard's God was a God of living fire, not of dry ink. She wrote of a conversation with a senior monk who questioned her. How can you, a simple woman, claim to see the angelic choirs when learned men have debated their nature for 1,000 years? Hildegard's response, recorded by Volmar, was serene but sharp as glass. You read about the fire. I am standing in it. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever tried to share a profound spiritual experience, only to be met with skepticism or condescending pats on the head? Share a simple yes in the comments if you know that feeling of spiritual isolation. It is precisely this dismissal of the mystical, the living experience of faith, that has allowed these 5 mistakes to flourish, unchecked, in our modern world. The academics won, in a way. We have the books, but we have forgotten the fire. Hildegard's mission was to bring us back to that fire. But the letter she received next from the Archbishop of Mainz, containing a list of questions and veiled threats, would test her resolve to its absolute limit. It was a letter that sought to silence her forever. But the letter following that, Asustaria ateos mais fiéis. To understand the mistakes, you must first understand the mechanics of the connection itself. Hildegard described the bond between you and your guardian angel not as a string or a tether, but as a mirrored pathway of light. Your angel, she explained, stands perpetually in the presence of God. It is a being of pure contemplation. its entire existence a perfect reflection of the divine will. It sees God's plan for you, your unique purpose, your highest potential, the person you were created to be. Its mission is to reflect that perfect image back to you, to project that blueprint of your glorified self onto your soul, so that you might have a constant, unwavering guide to follow. Think of it this way. Your angel holds a perfect mirror that reflects the sun, which is God. The beam of light from that mirror is meant to land directly on your heart, warming you, guiding you, and illuminating the path ahead. Your prayer, then, is the act of holding up your own mirror, your soul, to receive that light. And here is where the mechanics begin to break down. The first mistake is not in the prayer itself, but in the state of your own mirror. If your soul is clouded by unconfessed sin, distracted by worldly attachments, or warped by pride, the mirror you hold up is smudged, cracked, or bent. The divine light from your angel's mirror still shines, constant and perfect, but what is reflected in your own soul becomes a distortion. The guidance becomes confusing. The warmth feels distant. The path becomes shadowed and unclear. You then mistakenly believe your angel is absent, or that God is not listening. But the transmission, as Hildegard saw it, is never the problem. The problem is always in our reception. Let's take a concrete example. A man is facing a difficult business decision. He prays fervently to his guardian angel. Show me what to do. Should I take this deal or not? He feels nothing but anxiety. The silence from heaven is deafening. He concludes his angel has abandoned him. But Hildegard would see it differently. She would see his mirror. It is smudged with greed. He desires the deal for the status it will bring. It is warped by fear. He is terrified of failure. It is cracked by pride. He refuses to seek wise counsel from others. The perfect, simple light of guidance from his angel, which might be a simple feeling of peace about one path, or a sense of unease about the other, hits his distorted mirror and shatters into a confusing mess of anxiety and doubt. The correction, then, is not to pray harder, but to pray purer. Before you ask for guidance, you must first clean your mirror. This is a practical, not a theoretical act. It means a moment of sincere self-examination. It means saying, before I ask for your light, help me to see the smudges on my own soul that block it. Reveal to me my pride, my fear, my attachment. This simple 5-second prayer is the spiritual equivalent of wiping your mirror clean. It is an act of humility that prepares you to receive the clarity that is constantly being sent. Now, for the enigma. Hildegard wrote in a lesser-known letter about the threefold cord of prayer that connects us to our guardian: intention, devotion, and petition. But she warned that a fourth cord is required to make the connection stable and powerful. Without it, the three are easily tangled. She wrote, "The fourth cord is forged from a number. It is not the number of perfection, which is 7, nor the number of the choirs, which is 9. It is the number of days the Creator labored, plus the number of natures in the Christ. Add these, and you have the key to the fourth cord. Meditate on what virtue this number represents. The number is 6, days of creation, plus 2, divine and human natures of Christ, which equals 8. In Christian numerology, 8 is the number of resurrection, of new beginnings, of baptism. The fourth cord is renewal, the constant willingness to be made new, to begin again, to clean the mirror daily. Without this commitment to renewal, your prayers become stale, and your mirror inevitably grows dim again. We have only just cleaned the tools. We have not yet begun to uncover the actual mistakes, but the first revelation was yet to come. The 10th mistake is the most subtle, and therefore, for many, the most common. It occurs in the very first words you speak. In the Liber Divinorum Operum, Hildegard's final and most majestic visionary work, she describes seeing a soul in prayer. The man was pious, a good man by all accounts, kneeling by his bed. He began his prayer, "My guardian angel, I command you in the name of God to protect my house tonight." Hildegard saw the angel standing beside him, radiant and willing. But when the word command was uttered, she saw a flicker, a momentary dissonance, as if a beautiful string on a harp had been plucked with a jagged piece of stone. The angel did not leave. Its love did not diminish. But the perfect harmony of communion was fractured. The prayer was received, yes, but as a duty, not as a symphony. The 10th mistake: praying with a voice of command instead of a spirit of communion. This is a poison hidden in piety. You think you are exercising faith, using the authority given to you as a child of God. You use words like, I command, I bind, I demand, or you must. You are treating your angel as a celestial soldier, a divine functionary, a servant to be ordered about. But Hildegard revealed their true nature. They are your ordained partner in salvation. They are not below you. They are beside you. They are a messenger from the king, and you are the king's child. You do not command a royal messenger. You commune with them. You do not issue orders to a dear friend. You invite them into your struggle. The entire relationship is meant to be one of love, of partnership, of a harmonious dance, not a rigid hierarchy of command and control. Let's be concrete. Think of how you pray for protection. The common, flawed prayer is, Guardian angel, protect me from all harm on my journey today. It sounds fine, doesn't it? But the subtle energy is that of a command. You are giving a task. The correction is a simple but profound shift in language and intent. A corrected Hildegardian prayer would sound like this: Holy guardian angel, I invite you to walk with me today. Stand with me in the mantle of God's protection. Let your light and my will be united, so that together we may navigate the day according to God's purpose. Can you feel the difference? The first is a memo. The second is a wedding vow. The first is transactional. The second is relational. The first is about using the angel's power. The second is about uniting with the angel's purpose, which is always aligned with God's. This shift changes everything. It changes you from a master giving orders to a partner in a sacred dance. It acknowledges the angel's own will, which is perpetually and joyfully surrendered to God. By inviting them to act with you, you are aligning your own will with theirs, and thus with God's. It is the ultimate act of humility and trust. It says, I don't just want your power, I want your presence. I don't just want your protection, I want your partnership. This small change in your prayer is the difference between a soldier saluting a general and a son taking his father's hand. If you are ready to make this shift from command to communion, type communion in the comments as an affirmation of this new understanding. You may think this is a minor point of semantics, but in the spiritual realm, words are worlds. They create reality, and using a language of command, even with the best intentions, slowly builds a wall of pride between you and the very being assigned to help you tear down your walls. The angel will still perform its duty to protect you, for its loyalty is to God, but you will miss out on the joy, the intimacy, and the profound wisdom that comes from true, humble communion. You will receive the protection, but you will miss the friendship, and the friendship is the entire point. But this error, born of a misunderstanding of authority, is far less dangerous than the next. The next revelation included a word that you already said today without knowing it was forbidden. The 9th mistake is an error of the imagination, a poison that enters through the eye of your soul. Hildegard saw this with heartbreaking clarity in a vision of a young woman praying in a sunlit field. The woman was pure of heart. Her devotion was real. As she prayed, she visualized her guardian angel. In her mind's eye, she saw a magnificent man, strong and beautiful, with flowing golden hair and powerful white feathered wings. He looked like a masterpiece of Renaissance art. It was a comfort to her, this image. It made her angel feel real, relatable. But Hildegard, in her vision, saw what was happening on the spiritual level. She saw the true angel, a being of incandescent, formless light, a vortex of living music and color standing beside the woman. And she saw the woman's prayer, her energy, flowing not to this glorious being of light, but to the beautiful, static, human-shaped idol she'd constructed in her own mind. She was, in effect, praying to a figment of her own imagination. The 9th mistake: visualizing your angel as a human with wings. This is a profound and deeply ingrained error. We are physical beings, and our minds crave tangible images. The entire history of sacred art has reinforced this picture of angels as beautiful humans with avian appendages. But Hildegard, along with countless other mystics, was adamant. This is a symbol, a concession to our limited senses. It is not their reality. Their reality is fire, light, and sound. To impose a human form upon them is to limit them. It is to place the infinite into a finite box of your own making. It is an act, however unintentional, of idolatry. You are worshiping a concept you created instead of communing with the reality God created. The danger here is twofold. First, it limits the scope of your relationship. When you picture your angel as a human, you subconsciously assign them human limitations and human emotions. You might worry about bothering them, or imagine them getting frustrated with you. You project your own psychology onto a being that operates on a completely different divine level. You are trying to have a conversation with the ocean by talking to a single drop of water you hold in your hand. The second danger is more severe. The spiritual realm is populated. By creating a specific, empty, human-like thought form and directing your prayerful energy towards it, you are essentially creating a vessel. And as we discussed before, nature and the enemy of your soul abhor a vacuum. You are creating a beautiful, empty statue and inviting something to inhabit it. The true holy angel will not and cannot inhabit an idol of your making, but other things that wander and watch, are more than happy to masquerade as the beautiful friend you have imagined, offering comforting but ultimately misleading feelings, whispering half-truths that appeal to your ego. The correction is to surrender your imagination to God. It requires courage and humility. When you pray, do not try to see a form. Instead, try to feel a presence. Visualize not a person, but a quality. Imagine a column of warm, golden light standing to your right. Feel a sense of unshakable peace, of absolute safety. Listen not for a voice, but for a subtle shift in your own thoughts toward hope, clarity, and charity. Think of your angel as a personal sunrise, a silent symphony, a fortress of peace. You don't need to see its form. You need to experience its function. If you are willing to let go of the familiar but limiting image and embrace the awesome, formless reality, type pure light in the comments to affirm this courageous step. Letting go of this cherished image can feel like a loss, but what you gain is access to the staggering, beautiful, and powerful reality of what your guardian truly is. You trade a pretty picture for an infinite presence, but this error of imagination was nothing compared to the next. For the eighth mistake involved not how you see your angel, but how you unknowingly bribe them. We now move from the errors of communion and imagination to an error of the heart, a corruption of motive that is so common in our transactional world that we barely even notice we're doing it. In a section of Civias dealing with the virtues, Hildegard describes a merchant praying with great intensity. His ship, laden with valuable cargo, was caught in a vicious storm. He knelt on the rolling deck and cried out, "My guardian angel, save this ship. If you see me through this storm, I swear I will donate 1/10 of its value to the church, and I will say a rosary every day for a month." On the surface, this looks like an act of profound faith and piety, a foxhole bargain that many of us have made. But Hildegard's vision peeled back the surface. She saw that the man's prayer was not a plea, but a contract. It was not a surrender, but a negotiation. The angel, a being of pure, unconditional love and service to God, was being treated as a mercenary, a celestial power broker, whose help could be bought for the right price. The angel's assistance was not in question. It would act for the man's ultimate good according to God's will regardless. But the man had turned a sacred relationship into a cheap business deal. The eighth mistake, approaching your angel with a spirit of transaction. This is the "if you, then I will" prayer. If you help me pass this exam, I will go to Mass every day this week. If you heal my mother, I will stop this sinful habit. If you get me this job, I will volunteer at the soup kitchen. We think this is bargaining with God, but more often, we are directing this energy at our angelic intermediary. We are attempting to bribe a being of pure light. The core of this error is a deep misunderstanding of grace. Grace is, by definition, an unmerited gift. Your angel's help, protection, and guidance are expressions of God's grace, freely given to you simply because you are a beloved child of God. They cannot be earned, bought, or negotiated for. When you try to do so, you are operating from a place of profound spiritual poverty. You are acting as if God's love is conditional, and as if you must earn the help that has already been freely assigned to you. It is like a billionaire's child trying to pay his father $1 for a meal at the family table. It is not just unnecessary, it is insulting. It reveals a lack of trust in the Father's goodness. The correction is to separate your petition from your acts of piety, your good works, your promises, your devotions. These should be a response to grace, not a payment for it. They are acts of gratitude for love already given, not a down payment for favors to come. So the flawed prayer is, Angel of God, if you protect my child on her trip, I promise I will pray a novena. The corrected prayer has two parts. First, the petition, born of pure trust. Holy guardian angel, I entrust my child to your care on her trip. Stand with her, guide her, protect her according to God's holy will. I surrender my anxiety and place my trust in your loving presence. And then later, separate from the request, comes the act of gratitude. Lord, in thanksgiving for the gift of my child and for the constant protection of her holy angel, I will joyfully pray this novena to praise your goodness. Do you see the profound shift? The first is a bribe born of fear. The second is a surrender born of trust, followed by thanksgiving born of love. One is a contract, the other is a relationship. If you are ready to stop negotiating and start trusting, type "grace, not a bargain" in the comments. This liberates you from the anxiety of keeping your end of the deal and allows you to rest in the certainty that you are loved and cared for unconditionally. It is the difference between being an employee and being a son or daughter, and you were created for sonship. But this error of the heart, however misguided, is a private one. The seventh mistake is far worse, for it is an error of isolation that has devastating consequences for those you love most. The seventh mistake is one of omission, an error born from a spiritual vision that is too narrow, too focused on the self. Hildegard felt this most keenly when she prayed with mothers, widows, and orphans. She saw their prayers, intense and sincere, rising up to heaven like focused beams of light. A mother would pray, "My guardian angel, protect my son who is traveling." A wife would pray, "My guardian angel, comfort my husband in his grief." These are beautiful, selfless prayers, and yet, Hildegard saw that they were only half of what they could be. She saw in her visions that the angelic realm is not a collection of isolated individuals. It is a symphony, a chorus, a celestial society, and crucially, the guardian angels of a single family are interconnected. They form what she called a sacra cohors, a holy cohort, a spiritual phalanx bound together by the love and vows of the family they protect. They are a team. The seventh mistake, praying to your angel in isolation, forgetting the cohort of your family. When you pray only to your angel for the protection of a loved one, you are sending a single soldier into a battle when you have an entire platoon at your disposal. You are asking your angel to act alone, when it desires to act in concert with its brethren, the guardian angel of your spouse, your son, your daughter, your parents. This is especially critical for parents. You have a certain spiritual authority over your children. You can, and should, invoke the aid of their angels directly. The emotional weight of this revelation is immense. Think of the mother, racked with anxiety for her child. Her prayer is a solo performance, filled with frantic energy. Now imagine her praying with the understanding Hildegard provides. Her prayer is no longer a desperate plea, but the calm, confident command of a field general activating her entire command. The correction is a practical devotional protocol. It is to consciously and deliberately invoke the holy cohort of your family. When you pray for your family, do not just pray to your angel. Pray like this: "My holy guardian angel, I ask you to speak with the holy guardian angel of my husband. Form a wall of light around him. My holy guardian angel, go to the holy guardian angel of my daughter. Work together to keep her safe from all harm, physical and spiritual. I call upon the entire holy cohort of my family. Unite your strengths, weave your light together, and form an impenetrable fortress of grace around our home and all its members." This is a prayer of immense power. It multiplies the spiritual force being applied. It acknowledges the communal nature of both human life and angelic life. It is the difference between one candle and a bonfire. For those who are widows or have lost a child, this truth brings not pain, but profound comfort. The connection does not break at death. You can still pray to your angel and ask them to commune with the angel of your beloved spouse or child in heaven, sending your love and prayers in a way that transcends the veil. The angels, who exist outside of time as we know it, become a bridge between heaven and earth, between you and your loved ones who have gone before. This is a practical protocol to implement immediately. Tonight, before you sleep, gather your family if you can, or simply hold them in your heart. Verbally invoke the guardian angel of each person by name. For example, Holy Guardian Angel of Michael, protect him. Holy Guardian Angel of Sarah, guide her. Then, unite them. Holy angels of my family, stand together as one. If you are a parent or grandparent, and you commit to praying for your family's angelic cohort every day, type, "I will protect my cohort," in the comments below. This isn't just a prayer. It's a spiritual strategy. It is the weaving of a net of light so strong that it can withstand the fiercest storms of life. To neglect this is to fight alone when an army waits for your command. But even this powerful strategy can be rendered useless if it is built on a faulty understanding of who the angels are, which brings us to the sixth mistake, an error of doctrine that chills the blood. We now arrive at a critical juncture, moving from errors of practice to an error of pure doctrine. This mistake is not about your tone, your imagination, or your strategy. It is about a fundamental misunderstanding of your angel's very nature and its relationship to your own mind. It is a modern error, born of New Age philosophies that have seeped into the faith like a sweet, odorless poison. In a chilling passage from her later work, Liber Divinorum Operum, Hildegard writes of seeing a smoky, distorted light around a person who believed they were in constant, seamless communication with their angel. This person believed their angel could hear their every fleeting thought, know their every hidden intention, and feel their every passing emotion without any effort on their part. They believed the angel was, in essence, a part of their own consciousness. Hildegard's vision revealed this to be a dangerous lie. The sixth mistake, believing your angel can read your mind. This is a profound doctrinal error. Your mind, your inner sanctuary of thoughts and free will, is sacred ground. God himself, who created it, respects its sovereignty. He knocks. He does not break down the door. The angels, in perfect imitation of God, operate with the same profound respect for your free will. They do not and cannot simply enter your mind and sift through your thoughts. They are not psychics. They are messengers. A message requires a sender and an act of sending. They perceive what you will to communicate to them. They hear the prayers you consciously direct to them, whether spoken aloud or formed silently but intentionally in your heart. They see the choices you make, the virtues you practice, the sins you commit, but they do not have access to the chaotic, unformed, and often involuntary stream of consciousness that runs through your mind all day. Why is this so dangerous? Because if you believe your angel hears every thought, you cease to pray with intention. You assume that your vague worries, your passing hopes, your fleeting desires are all being automatically received and acted upon. You become spiritually lazy. You stop the disciplined act of forming a prayer, of taking a chaotic emotion, shaping it with your will, and directing it as a focused message. You replace intentional prayer with passive, sentimental hoping. The second, more terrifying danger is this. If you believe a voice or an idea that simply pops into your head is your guardian angel speaking, you open yourself to profound deception. As St. John of the Cross would later write, the devil is the ape of God. He is a master of mimicry. Other entities can and do whisper suggestions into the minds of the undisciplined, and they are more than happy for you to attribute their dark suggestions to a holy source. The correction is a return to spiritual discipline. You must treat communication with your angel as a formal act, even if it is a silent one. You must address your angel. You must formulate your petition. You must send it with your will. Think of it like a radio. Your angel is always broadcasting on a specific frequency. Your fleeting thoughts are just background static. A true prayer is the act of tuning your own radio, pointing the antenna, and deliberately sending a clear, willed transmission. Start your prayers with a formal address. Holy Guardian Angel, whom God has appointed to be my guardian, I direct my thoughts to you now. This act of will pierces through the mental static and establishes a clear channel. It signals to your angel, I am now speaking to you. It also acts as a safeguard. Any voice, thought, or impulse that comes to you outside of this intentional, prayerful communication should be subjected to rigorous discernment, not blindly accepted as angelic guidance. If you understand the need for this discipline, for this intentionality, type, "I will pray with intention" below. You are not a psychic being, and your angel is not a mind reader. You are a child of God, and your angel is His ambassador. Speak to them with the respect and clarity that such a relationship demands. Failure to do so not only weakens your prayer, but it leaves the doors of your mind unguarded. And what we will now discover is that the next 3 mistakes are the very keys that turn in those unguarded locks. The pace of revelation now quickens. Hildegard, in a single terrifying vision that left her weak for 3 days, saw not 1 but 3 mistakes occurring in rapid succession, like a cascade of falling dominoes, each one enabling the next. They are the errors that turn an unguarded mind into a compromised fortress. She called them the threefold shadow on the heart's door. We must face them now. The 5th mistake is praying at the wrong spiritual time. This has nothing to do with the clock on your wall. It has everything to do with the state of your soul. Hildegard saw a man kneeling in prayer, begging his angel for help with a financial problem, but she also saw his soul, which was in a state of mortal sin. He was a ruthless lender who had just ruined another family. His heart was filled with unrepentant greed and malice. She saw his prayer rise up, but it was thick and heavy, like black smoke, and it could not ascend. It simply pooled around him, suffocating his own spirit. Praying to a holy angel from a state of unrepentant mortal sin is like trying to make a call from a phone with no signal. The line is dead. The purity of the angel cannot connect with the deliberate impurity of the soul. The correction is not to stop praying. That is the devil's lie. The correction is to pray in the right order. Before you ask your angel for favors, you must first ask God for mercy. A simple, sincere act of contrition, "Oh my God, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee," is the act of reconnecting the signal. It is admitting you have turned away, and it gives God the permission to turn you back. Only then, with the line reestablished, can your prayer to your angel be transmitted clearly. The 4th mistake followed instantly. A woman, having just gone to confession and feeling spiritually clean, began to pray. She had read a book that promised to reveal her guardian angel's secret name. With great fervor, she prayed, "Oh, mighty angel Zapkiel, I call upon you." Hildegard shuddered as she saw the result. The woman's true guardian angel, a being of golden light, stood by her, but the prayer, addressed to a false name, shot past it like an arrow aimed at the wrong target. It flew out into the spiritual ether, a call sent to a non-existent address, and Hildegard saw shadowy things stir in the distance, their attention piqued by a soul calling out into the void with a name that was not holy. The 4th mistake, using false or unrevealed names for your angel. The Church, in its wisdom, gives us one proper title, Holy Guardian Angel. We know the names of 3 archangels from Scripture, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, because God chose to reveal them for a specific purpose. Any other name, whether discovered through a psychic, a New Age book, or a personal revelation, is to be profoundly distrusted. The angel's true name, Hildegard wrote, is a vibration of the essence of God, incomprehensible to the human mind. To use a fabricated name is at best an act of futility, and at worst, an open invitation to a masquerading spirit. The correction is one of profound humility and obedience. Use the title the Church has given you. My holy guardian angel is powerful, it is true, and it is safe. It is an address that cannot be misdelivered. The 3rd mistake was the most insidious. A student, desperate to know if he would be accepted into a university, prayed, "My guardian angel, show me the future. Let me know if I will be successful." This prayer, born of anxiety, was an attempt to hijack the angel's purpose. The angel's mission is to guide you towards salvation, not to provide you with winning lottery numbers or a sneak peek at tomorrow's headlines. This is a form of divination, an attempt to seize knowledge that God, in His wisdom, keeps hidden. It is an act of pride, a refusal to live in trust and surrender. When you ask for forbidden knowledge, you are asking your angel to violate its own nature and purpose. The correction is to change the question. Instead of asking, "What will happen?" you must ask, Give me the strength and wisdom to faithfully handle whatever happens. Instead of, show me the future, pray, help me to be holy in the present moment. Ask for virtue, not victory. Ask for wisdom, not information. Ask for holiness, not clairvoyance. If you are ready to correct these 3 rapid-fire mistakes, type mercy, humility, and trust in the comments. But these 3, as terrible as they were merely symptoms. The final 2 mistakes were the disease itself. The second was a single gesture you make every day. And the first was the lie you tell yourself before you even begin to pray. We have arrived at the heart of the matter, the source from which all other errors flow. The final 2 mistakes are not just flawed techniques. They are fundamental ruptures in your relationship with God and His messenger. They are the disease. Hildegard saw the second mistake not in the words of a prayer, but in the posture of a soul. She saw a man praying with all the right words. Holy guardian angel, I entrust my financial troubles to you. Please guide me. But as he prayed, Hildegard saw his spiritual hands clenched in a fist around his problems. He spoke words of surrender, but his soul screamed, I'm still in control. I'm still trying to figure this out myself. I'm giving you this problem, but I'm not letting go. It is the most common of all contradictions in the spiritual life. It is the invisible gesture you make every day. The second mistake, praying with a clenched soul. You give the problem to God with your lips, but you keep it with your will. You ask for help, but you refuse to get out of the way. It is like asking a master surgeon to perform a delicate operation, while you insist on holding the scalpel yourself. It makes true angelic intervention impossible, because they will not violate your free will, and your will is still clinging tightly to the problem. The correction for this must be both spiritual and physical. After you state your prayer of petition and entrustment, you must perform a conscious physical act of letting go. The simplest and most powerful is this. Open your hands on your lap, palms facing up. This small physical act signals to your soul, your mind, and the entire angelic realm that you are truly letting go. It is a posture of total receptivity. It says, my hands are empty. I am no longer holding on to this. I am ready to receive. This act breaks the spiritual stalemate. It is your willed consent for your angel to truly begin its work. And now, the first mistake, the one that precedes all others, the foundational lie. Hildegard saw it in nearly every soul she witnessed in prayer. It was a dark, heavy whisper that came just before the prayer began. I am not worthy of this. I am too small, too sinful, too insignificant. Why would this glorious being care about my petty problems? This, she realized, was the masterstroke of the enemy, the first and greatest mistake, believing you are unworthy of your angel's attention. You mistake this lie for humility, but it is not humility. It is a twisted form of pride. It is you, a mere creature, presuming to tell God Almighty that His gift to you was a mistake. God, in His infinite love and wisdom, looked at you, specifically, from all eternity and said, this soul is so precious, so valuable, so worth fighting for, that I will assign one of my royal court, a being of immense power and beauty, to be their companion and guardian for their entire existence. For you to then say, I am not worthy of that, is to call God a fool. It is to deny the extravagant, seemingly reckless nature of His love. Your worthiness does not come from your own virtue. It comes from the fact that God created you, loves you, and has assigned an angel to you. That is the only qualification required. The correction is to begin every single prayer to your angel by affirming this truth. Before you ask for anything, you must state the foundation of the relationship. Begin thus, my holy guardian angel, whom God, in His infinite and unmerited mercy, has assigned to me. This phrase shatters the lie of unworthiness. It reminds you that this relationship is not based on your performance, but on God's gift. It changes the entire tone of your prayer, from the hesitant plea of a beggar to the confident conversation of a beloved child. Now, with this full understanding, we must heal the damage done by our past errors. We must pray together, not just for ourselves, but for everyone listening. Let us pray this prayer of reparation, to clean the mirror and mend the connection for good. My holy guardian angel, whom God in His mercy has assigned to me, heal in me the pride that would command you. and teach me the humility of true communion. Purify my imagination, that I may seek your presence, not a picture, and guard my heart from the poison of transaction, that I may receive grace as a gift. Forgive my isolation, and unite us now with the holy cohort of all our families, weaving a fortress of light around those we love. Discipline my mind to pray with intention, and grant me the wisdom to ask only for what leads to salvation. I open my hands and my soul, releasing my grip on my fears, and I reject the lie that I am unworthy of your care, for I am a child of God, and you are his gift to me. And now, we ask for our mission. Holy angels of every person listening to this message, unite your powers. Weave together a net of grace over our nations. Drive back the shadows of confusion and fear that plague our world. Make us, in our own small way, a cohort for the healing of the world, just as you are a cohort for our families. Let our corrected prayers rise now as a symphony of light that brings hope to the darkness, through Christ our Lord. If you have made this prayer with me, seal it now by commenting Amen below. Subscribe to this channel so that we may continue to walk this path of rediscovery together. For what we have learned today is only the beginning. In our next encounter, we will explore the 7 seals of the soul that Hildegard saw, and why the third one is already broken in most modern cities. You must not miss it.